Hey everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Identity of She podcast. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, make sure you do so at the Identity of She, where you'll see so much more content. We post real images. We are an inclusive brand where we post all body types, all different figures, all human beings. We also have launched the Identity of He, so we have menswear and women's wear, apparel, and just really cool content that may help you in your self-love journey. So today I wanted to play a clip for you guys, and I want to talk a little bit about mental illness.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've had a bipolar friend experience, and here's my thought process on bipolar. And my people, they know this. And so your people, listen, I love everybody. Okay. I love everybody with mental illness. I love everybody with disabilities, but I don't want to be your friend if you have a mental illness. I don't want to be associated with you if you're bipolar, if you have not been on your medicine for at least 10 years or more.
But what if the medicine ran out because you guys were on a trip and then they had an episode, but they really don't want to be problematic? They just couldn't help. They couldn't get to the bottle fast enough. Or they tried to kill themselves. Or they tried to kill themselves the weekend before and took too many and didn't leave none over for when they got over the episode.
The reason that I decided this clip is because mental illness is something that you should not be ashamed of, and it's definitely something that we should not poke fun of. For one, you're probably already friends with somebody that has mental illness. You may have mental illness. A family member may have mental illness. It's something that everybody either goes through or has somebody that is close to them in their life that may have a mental health episode or just may struggle with their mental health. It's something we all need help with, is bettering our mental health, being more in tune with our mind and how we process things, how we break down things. To the people that just shut off, that's not normal. But that's okay because we all have issues. We all are going through this. And I just was so surprised to be on YouTube and to see someone say like, oh, I don't want to be friends with you, just going off of one person's experience with a bipolar episode. There's so much that is out there in terms of mental health that we need to keep things positive. We shouldn't be talking negatively about mental health because you have no idea who you're talking about. I've been diagnosed with bipolar, and every day I take medication, but I've learned to cope with it and to deal with it. And even being a certified behavioral health specialist, I feel like I know how to deal with other people that may be like me, that may have to take medication for mental illness. It's something that we've got to destigmatize it. We cannot assume, or we cannot poke fun about it and assume that jokes like that are funny. They're not fucking funny. They're just hurtful. I was personally offended by that statement, and I would hope that we take more responsibility on our platforms because so many people are going through negative mental health issues, especially with what's going on in the world. A lot of us are dealing with grief. A lot of us are dealing with depression. So why make jokes? Like, for what? It's not doing anything. It's not helping our world. I want to see better out of, I would say, the YouTube community, out of different YouTubers on their platforms. If, it's all cool to have jokes and stuff like that. But when we're talking about mental health, have a resource that's available to people. My resource that I personally provided is a quiz that I created. It's a mental health check-in quiz. You can find it at theidentityofshe.com, then click mental health check-in quiz. It's just a little assessment that I put together. I also have a how to fight depression self-help guide. It has little tools, different signs that you may be experiencing. One sign that I think is important is that, you guys, we tend to think that depressed people struggle with suicidal ideation, meaning like the only depressed people are those people that are like on the brink of thinking about like what's called suicidal ideation. They're having suicidal thoughts. But a lot of people that go through depression, first of all, globally, it's 264 million people that go through depression. So it is a very common thing. And for most people, their signs are simply sleeping too much, not wanting to tackle life. They're different signs of depression. I actually will name them for you. This is actually from the lawofattraction.com. So turning down activities that you usually love, feeling exhausted, lashing out at others, having good and bad days. Not every day is a bad day when you're going through depression. I just want to be clear on that. Unusual sleeping and eating habits, acting recklessly, and withdrawing from social activities. So these are the 7 signs of depression that you may have experienced. And I mean, we all have good and bad days. So this may be something that you're going through, or you may know somebody. And just to let you guys know, I'm giving this guide away to you. So please just DM the Identity of She on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to give you this guide. On the back of it also has positive affirmations that may be helpful to you, because a big thing about being positively mentally healthy is just reminding yourself, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for, friend? And having positive affirmations. What are things that you will say to yourself every single day? The thing that I tell myself every day, I am determined to fall in love with everything that I am. There is so much chaos going on in the world. Who would have ever thought in 2020 this is where we'd be? Where we have asked the president to denounce white supremacy, and he says the words, "stand by." What the fuck? I cannot even tell you guys. If you're feeling scared, I'm with you, okay? Like, if you're feeling like you may start acting of recklessly, I understand, because there's so much that is going on, and you and yourself better be on the same team, friend. You've got to stop talking down to yourself. You've got to stop accepting toxic people in your life. Instead, you have to think positively and put yourself first. Care for yourself. Admire yourself. Love on yourself. And I know that might sound cheesy and shit, but like, it's now or never, for real, because there's way too much going on in the world for us to not be in tune with ourselves. So tell yourself, like I tell myself, I'm willing to fall in love every single day with myself, because I deserve that, and so do you. Nobody deserves the madness that's going on in this world right now, and yet we're all experiencing it together. Nobody deserves to be told, I'm not going to be your friend if you have a mental health episode, because for one, the first rule of behavioral health is we don't give up on people. And if everybody thought that way, like, oh, well, I can't be your friend, there would be no therapist. There would be no support. And there would be a lot more people that feel more depressed than there are people trying to help one another. So it's just a negative message. And it's also not fair to your friends, to your family, to those that are around you, that are close to you, that may be going through something. Be there for your friends. I don't want you to accept toxic behavior, but be there for people. Find that balance. If you can be there for a friend and it's not imposing on your mental health, it may be imposing on your time, and that's okay. But it's a difference between imposing on like a toxic level of something in your life versus, you know what, let me just give this friend an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes for them to vent. One thing I personally struggle with is I can't cut people off. Like, I'll let people talk because I let people vent. I give them their time, because you just never know. You never know what people are going through. We've lost so many people due to suicide. And in dealing with being diagnosed with bipolar, I've had so many close people in my life that I love that have struggled with mental health, mental illness, addiction, all of these things. And that's why I was like, if I can reach one person and just let them know, like, you're okay, it's going to be okay. If you guys see other things on the internet that are joking about mental health, like, call it out. A simple message, it's worth a simple comment. Just, hey, like, you're talking about my family, you're talking about me, and that's not cool. It's not funny either. There's so many things that we could laugh about, but I don't joke about mental health. It's not something that is funny. It's not something that's laughable. It's something that is very serious and very personal, because you don't know what people are going through. That's the hard part about life, is that we're put on this planet together. Even though you're born alone and you die alone, we need one another literally for survival. And you never know, the person that you are close with may be going through something that you have no idea how they're even getting up every day. Be there for your fucking friends. Seriously, guys. Give that friend an extra 10, 15 minutes. If anybody knows anybody that is going through depression, or if you could just use something in your mailbox that will make you smile, just DM the Identity of She. I'm also going to just shout out just a couple of other things. So you can email the Identity of She at gmail.com. If you have other topics you would like us to talk about, you could also send us a DM. This podcast is interactive as well. So by taking the quiz, which you can get to the quiz by going to theidentityofshe.com, mental health check-in quiz. By clicking on that, I'm actually going to put a graph together on our next episode, just so that you know, like, you're not alone, but so that I can include feedback into this episode as well. Because, like, I didn't create this just to talk about myself. Like, I really created it to talk about what everybody else may be going through, and to be a guiding light, a source of positivity, because why not? There could be more positivity out there, couldn't there? So I encourage you to take the mental health check-in quiz. If you know anybody going through depression, again, just send me a DM, the Identity of She. These are completely free. Take care of yourself today. I want to leave you with some lasting questions. How are you? How is your mental health? How do you define self-care? What are you grateful for? What is a positive affirmation? What's something you tell yourself every single day that is positive? What are you struggling with? This podcast is for you, friend. So I want you to tell me, what are some things that you may be struggling with, or just want to hear more content on, or just a nice, friendly voice talking to you about any aspect of self-love, self-care, how your mental health is doing. I want you to know that I care about you. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.